Hi, my name is Dejan Gibbons. I attend Simpson University, and today I'll be presenting about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, someone that I took very interest to because just of his way of leading people to God, and that's something that I want to do. So let's get started. I want to talk about his answering the calling to serve. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was a young man who was determined to be used by God by helping others to find who Jesus was in the midst of hopelessness, misery, anguish, and despair. On February 4th, 1906, Carl and Paula Bonhoeffer gave birth to their sixth child, Dietrich Bonhoeffer. At age 14, with concern by his parents, Dietrich Bonhoeffer chose to follow the footsteps of his grandfather and decided to become a theologian, hoping to lead the way for those who wanted to learn more who Jesus was. I can relate to that as well. Just being someone who wants to pretty much profess who God is and letting people get to know Him, people that don't know Him, or just doesn't have the right education about who Jesus Christ is. So I can relate to that. Let's talk about his education. As you can see, he attended the University of Tübingen. He attended the University of Berlin. He graduated with his doctorate at 21 years old. His thesis was Sectorum Communal and a dogmatic inquiry into the sociology of the church. In 1930, he went to New York for a year to study at the Union of Theological Seminary. Pretty impressive. The days of his ministry, as you can see. While Bonhoeffer was away in the States, the rise of Nazism was becoming a spread in Germany. In 1931, Bonhoeffer returned to the States, and he took the position as a teaching position at his alma mater, Berlin University. His ministry continues. At this time, Dietrich Bonhoeffer became involved in the world of alliance, developing friendship by connecting with other churches. In 1933, German Christians embraced Aneurism, working hard to destroy the Nazi ideology by speaking against their heresy. By many began to believe what was spoken to the Nazi leadership. The rise of the Nazi Germany, as you can see the picture right there. Adolf Hitler rise to the power in 1933. Hitler's had an ideology based on Germans, as the master race was threatened by a spread of international Jewish conspiracy was responsible for the problems of the world. He decided that he would remove what he referred to be a Gentile people, decided to kill off this race of people he knew as Jews, which to me is just a hateful crime because, as you know, what Dietrich stood for, he stood behind God, Jesus Christ, which, pretty much professes, you love people, you treat people with respect, and you don't just do the things that Hitler was really out here doing, So it's pretty damaging what Hitler was doing. The Aryan paragraph, as you can see, the Aryan paragraph, you guys can see. The Aryan paragraph is a clause created by the Nazi regime in the statutes that refers to membership, residence only to the members of the Aryan race, but includes the rights of the non-Aryans, such as the Jews and those that were Jews of the descent. As you can see, it's written pretty much in their language. Anybody can read that. One of my favorite verses, actually, which is cool, is John 11:26. And whoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die, believeth though this. Basically, regardless of what Hitler was doing to his people, it's never going to change how people felt about Jesus Christ. Me personally, I feel that you know, that if you have love in your heart for God, and you know, you're gonna sin, you're gonna not, you know, live in His word all the time. But I feel like you have your love in your heart for God, He will, you know, He will always be there for you. So, what I take from the scripture, you know, that pretty much your soul with Him would never die, that it would perish forever with Jesus Christ. A move of action, which is one of my favorite parts of the slide. Pastor Dietrich Bonhoeffer answered the call of God, and now he was ready for the greatest work of his life. He stood against the evils of Hitler, being the voice of the church against Jewish persecution. This banned Bonhoeffer from Berlin. I can respect Dietrich for this. He stood for his people, he stood for his faith, he stood for God. And sometimes you're going to be blackballed or pushed away for the things you believe in for the greater of the good. So I respect Dietrich for this, because he was going against evil. Just a little bit of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Pastor Dietrich Bonhoeffer was captured by the Gestapo due to his role in the Jews' escape the wrath of the Nazis and failed to attempt on Hitler's life. Because Pastor Bonhoeffer rebellious to Nazi politic, he was executed following a court mandate. I feel that Dietrich stood for something. He stood for, like I said in the last slide, he stood for his people. And sometimes you have to be the sacrificial lamb for something, that you have to stand for something. Because I feel like, especially as a man, if you don't stand for nothing, you don't stand for anything. So I feel like that Dietrich, God gave him a plan, and he stuck to it. And you know, he was executed for it, but I feel like that, you know, for the greater good, it was all worth it. So what I basically take from this is a man who, like I said before, just stood for something. He fought for his people. He fought against the Nazis, fought against Hitler. He was a University of Berlin alum, and they kicked him out of Berlin. But he did it all because he wanted to see his people win and be glorified, you know, as God wants us to be. He's gonna want us to walk like Him and not be perfect, but just stand with Him through the glory of it, and just answer His call and just be there for Him. And I feel like that's what Dietrich did, and he sacrificed his own life for, like I said, the greater good and for his own people, and stood against evil, which was Hitler. That's my slide today. My name is Dejon Givens, and I appreciate you for watching my presentation, and I hope you like it. Thank you.